Imagine you are facing one of the hardest days of your life. Maybe a sudden loss, a serious problem, or just a day when everything seems to go wrong. How do you keep your peace? How do you find happiness when it feels like the whole world is against you? Have you ever asked yourself why some people seem calm and happy even in bad times? What is their secret? And more importantly, can you learn it too? Every day, we all face difficulties. It could be health worries, family conflicts, or even just feeling lonely. But what if there was a way to stay happy no matter what happens outside? Let me share a simple example. Imagine two people stuck in the same traffic jam. One gets angry, yells, and feels frustrated. The other takes a deep breath, listens to music, and accepts the wait. What do you think feels happier? Welcome to Wisdom Woven, a place where we explore ancient wisdom from modern life. Here, you'll learn not just to survive tough moments, but to truly stay happy through them. There's so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% subscribe. So please like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. Please drop down your thoughts in the comments. And firstly, comment Namo Buddha to stay energetic. Your support helps us bring more wisdom to you every day. In this video, we will explore teachings from Buddhism that help you find happiness in bad situations. Buddhism teaches that life is full of ups and downs, but it also shows us a way to keep our hearts calm and joyful no matter what happens. It all begins with understanding that pain and trouble are part of life. Instead of fighting or running away from them, we learn to see them clearly and gently. This change in how we see things can bring deep peace. The Buddha said that suffering comes from craving and attachment. When we want things to be different than they are, we suffer. But when we accept life as it is, even in hard times, our mind becomes free. By practicing simple mindfulness, paying gentle attention to our thoughts and feelings, we stop being controlled by anger, fear, or sadness. Instead, we find a space of quiet calm inside ourselves. You don't have to be a monk or live far away to use these teachings. They're for everyone, especially for people like you, who want more peace and happiness in everyday life. In the coming parts of this series, we will dive deeper into these ideas. We will learn how to see suffering differently, how to change our reactions, and how to bring kindness to ourselves even in the hardest moments. So stay with us, and let's begin this journey together. Because true happiness does not depend on the outside world. It comes from within. Imagine a quiet moment. The breath flows in and out. You sit, still, watching the world as it is. In this stillness, a question arises. Why is there suffering? Why does pain visit every life without fail? Long ago, the Buddha looked deeply at this question. He saw clearly that suffering is part of the human condition. This is not to make us sad or hopeless. Rather, it is the first step toward understanding and peace. Suffering, called dukkha in the old language, means more than just pain. It means that life, as we experience it, is often not fully satisfying. Joy fades, things change, and nothing stays the same forever. Even happy moments can carry a shadow because we know they will end. Think about this. You have a beautiful flower in your hand. It smells sweet and looks perfect, but after a few days, it wilts. You may feel sadness, even though you knew it was natural. This is dukkha, the experience of things not lasting as we wish. Every person, no matter who they are, knows this. We all face loss, disappointment, and change. It might be the loss of someone we love, a dream that does not come true, or simply the feeling that life is not what we hoped. But the Buddha did not stop there. He taught that recognizing suffering clearly is the first step toward freedom. To deny it is to stay trapped in pain. To see it fully is to begin to let it go. Why does suffering come? The Buddha explained this with great clarity. It comes because of craving, our deep desire for things to be different, better, or lasting forever. We want happiness, but we want it only on our terms. When we crave, we hold tightly to things, to people, to feelings, to possessions. We want control. We want to keep what we love and avoid what we fear. But life cannot be controlled. Everything changes, and when change comes, the tight grip causes pain. Imagine holding a handful of water. The tighter you squeeze, the more it slips away. This is craving. Our mind tries to hold on, but suffering grows because what we hold cannot stay. Many times, people think suffering is caused by outside problems, the illness, the loss, the failure. But the Buddha showed us that it is the craving inside our mind that creates much of the suffering. When we can see this clearly, we gain a new power. This does not mean we stop caring or become cold. It means we learn to see how our desires create their own traps. We begin to loosen the tight grip, to accept life's changes with greater ease. Suffering also arises because of attachment to self. We build a story about who we are, what we need, and how life should be. When this story breaks, when reality does not match it, pain arises. The Buddha invites us to see that the self is not fixed. It is like a river, always flowing and changing. When we hold too tightly to a fixed idea of ourselves, we suffer when things shift. This teaching is not easy. It asks us to look at our deepest habits, how we think and feel, how we react to pain. It asks us to be honest and gentle with ourselves, even when we feel broken. But with practice, something wonderful happens. When we stop fighting suffering and start seeing it as part of life, we find peace. Not because pain disappears, but because our mind changes. This peace is like a deep lake, calm and still beneath the waves. The surface may ripple, but deep down, the water remains quiet. This is the heart of Buddhist wisdom. The Buddha said, "To understand suffering is to understand life." When you know this, you stop blaming yourself or the world. You begin to live with greater kindness to yourself and others. In this understanding, compassion grows. We see that everyone suffers, and this connects us. Instead of feeling alone in pain, we feel part of a larger whole. Try this now. Close your eyes and breathe. Notice any tightness, any craving in your heart. See if you can watch it without pushing it away or grabbing it. Just notice. This simple awareness is the first step toward freedom. It is the gentle light that shows the path through darkness. In the days to come, we will explore how to walk this path more deeply, how to calm the mind, how to see clearly, how to bring kindness to ourselves and others even in the hardest times. But remember, it all begins with this clear understanding. Suffering is not a curse or a punishment. It is part of the truth of life. When we accept this truth, our hearts open. We begin to let go of what binds us and discover a happiness that no difficulty can take away. This is not a quick fix or a magic trick. It is a lifelong practice. Yet even a small step on this path can bring light into your darkest moments. You do not walk alone. The Buddha's wisdom is like a lamp, passed from hand to hand through the ages, lighting the way for all who seek peace. So, whenever you feel lost or overwhelmed, remember this teaching. Sit quietly, breathe gently, and meet your suffering with an open heart. In that meeting, healing begins. In that meeting, happiness is born, not outside but deep within. Imagine, for a moment, a calm lake on a quiet morning. The water is still, reflecting the sky like a perfect mirror. Now, imagine a stone is thrown into the lake. Ripples spread across the surface, disturbing the calm. The lake is not angry or sad about these ripples. It simply waits patiently until the water settles again. Our minds are like that lake. When life is smooth, the mind is peaceful. But when difficulties arise, loss, pain, disappointment, our mind reacts like the water disturbed by the stone. We feel anger, fear, sadness, or frustration. But why do these ripples take over our peace? Why do we suffer so deeply? The answer lies in our attachments and desires. We hold on tightly to how we want things to be. We want good health, happy relationships, success, or comfort. When things do not meet these wishes, our mind resists. It struggles against reality. This struggle creates suffering. Attachment is like holding on to a bird in your hands. The tighter you grip, the more the bird struggles to escape, and the more likely it is to hurt itself. If you open your hands gently, The bird feels free, and peace returns. Our desires work the same way. When we grasp tightly to life as we want it, we trap ourselves in suffering. Think about a simple moment. You expect a phone call from a loved one, but the call never comes. Your mind starts to imagine the worst. Maybe something bad happened. Your heart races, your thoughts whirl, and pain grows. This reaction is born from attachment, the wish that things should be different than they are. The Buddha taught that this craving, this wanting, is the root cause of suffering. It is not the pain itself that hurts most, but our resistance to it. When we try to push away what we do not want or hold too tightly to what we desire, we bind ourselves to endless cycles of disappointment and pain. But here is the gentle truth. The world changes constantly. Nothing stays the same. People grow old, health changes, situations shift. This is the nature of life. When we accept this natural flow, instead of fighting it, we find freedom. In your daily life, when difficult emotions arise, try this. Notice the desire or attachment behind your feeling. Are you wanting things to be different? Are you clinging to a memory, a person, or a hope? Simply recognize this with kindness, without judgment. This awareness itself brings calm. Like the lake watching the ripples without getting caught in them, you can watch your feelings without being swept away. You create space between yourself and the reaction. In this space, peace is possible. The Zen way teaches us to return again and again to the present moment. The past is gone, and the future is uncertain. When we live fully here, we stop chasing what cannot last and start appreciating what is. Desires will come and go like passing clouds. When you see them clearly as clouds, temporary and changing, they lose their power to disturb your peace. You can let them drift away, returning your mind to stillness. Understand this well. Suffering is not punishment. It is a teacher. It shows us where we are holding on too tightly. It invites us to let go, not in despair, but in hope. Hope for a heart that is free, steady, and kind. The mind, once free from craving, becomes like that still lake. It does not mean you stop caring or feeling joy. It means you experience emotions without being controlled by them. You become the calm in the storm. When you stop chasing happiness outside yourself, you find a deeper happiness within. This happiness does not depend on good news or bad. It is like a flame that burns steadily, regardless of wind or rain. Imagine again the stone in the lake. The ripples come and go, but the lake itself remains. So too, your true self remains calm beneath the surface of all emotions. This is the wisdom hidden in our reactions. When you understand why you react, you no longer need to be a slave to those reactions. You become the master of your mind. Practice this patiently. Every time you feel upset, ask gently, what am I holding on to? What desire or fear is behind this feeling? Simply notice it. Breathe. Let's soften. This practice will bring a quiet strength, a resilience that carries you through difficult times. It will help you stay happy, not because everything outside is perfect, but because inside you have found a peace that no trouble can take away. Remember, the journey to freedom is not about avoiding pain. It is about changing how we relate to it. Pain is natural, suffering is optional. When a mind lets go of its tight grip, happiness flows naturally. It is like water flowing over rocks, steady, gentle, and unstoppable. So when life throws stones into your lake, do not fight the ripples. Watch them, learn from them, let them pass. Return to your calm center. In this way, you live fully, peacefully, and joyfully, no matter what comes your way. Imagine sitting quietly under a tree, feeling the gentle breeze on your skin. Your mind is still, but your heart is open. In this moment, there's no rush, no worry about the future or regrets from the past. You are simply here. This is the essence of inner calm, the peace that Buddhism teaches us to find, even when the world around us is chaotic and difficult. Life is not always easy. Challenges come to all of us: loss, pain, uncertainty. These moments can shake us deeply. But inside, beneath all the noise and storm, there's a place of stillness. This place is always there. We only need to learn how to find it. The Buddha taught us a path, a way to walk gently through life's troubles without being crushed by them. This path is called the Noble Eightfold Path. It sounds complex, but really, it is about living with kindness, clear understanding, and calm attention. It is about training the mind to be steady and gentle, even when life feels heavy. Imagine your mind is like a pond. When the wind blows, the water becomes rough and choppy. But when the wind stops, the water becomes calm and clear again. Our thoughts and feelings are like the wind. Sometimes they are strong and wild, making our mind restless. But if we can learn to let those winds pass without holding on, the pond of our mind can become still. This stillness is not about ignoring problems or pretending everything is fine. It is about seeing clearly what is happening, without being swept away by fear, anger, or sadness. When you practice this calm way of seeing, even bad situations become easier to bear. You do not lose your peace because you're not fighting the wind. You are allowing it to blow through, knowing the water will settle again. One of the simplest ways to begin is by paying attention to your breath. Breath is always with us. It is a gentle guide back to the present moment. When your mind feels troubled, take a few deep breaths. Feel the air coming in and going out. Notice how your body moves with each breath. This simple act can anchor you in calmness. You may wonder, how can breathing help when everything around me is falling apart? The answer is that peace starts inside. No matter how hard life is, you have a refuge within yourself. By returning to the breath, you remind yourself of this inner refuge. It is a place no one can take away from you. The path to calm also asks us to look kindly at ourselves. Often, when things go wrong, we become harsh with ourselves. We blame and criticize, but this only adds more pain. Instead, try to treat yourself as you would a dear friend. Speak gently. Offer kindness. When your mind is calm and kind, happiness can grow even in hard times. Another teaching from Buddhism is about the nature of the mind itself. The mind is always changing, like the sky changing with clouds. Sometimes it is bright and clear, other times dark and stormy. This is natural. We don't have to push away the dark clouds. We just watch them, knowing the sky remains vast and open no matter what. This idea helps us understand that bad feelings, like sadness or anger, do not last forever. They come and go, just like the clouds. When we remember this, we do not hold on tightly to pain. We allow it to flow through us, knowing calm will return. When the mind is calm, our actions also change. We do not react with anger or fear. Instead, we respond with wisdom and compassion. This does not mean ignoring problems. It means facing them with a clear heart, without making the situation worse with our own unrest. Practice is important. Just like training a muscle, training the mind takes time and patience. Each day, try to spend a little time sitting quietly. Notice your thoughts, feelings, and sensations without judgment. If your mind wanders, gently bring it back to your breath. This small act builds great strength. You may notice that as your mind becomes calmer, your perspective on life shifts. Problems that once felt overwhelming may become easier to handle. You begin to see that happiness is not about having a perfect life. It is about finding peace inside, no matter what life gives you. Remember, you are not alone on this path. The Buddhist teachings have guided countless people through difficult times. Their wisdom is a lamp in the darkness. By following this path, you learn to walk through the world with calm and confidence. When you face suffering, remind yourself that this too shall pass. Like the seasons, life changes. Hard times are like winter. They feel cold and long, but spring always comes. With a calm mind, you can wait through the winter without losing your joy. Calmness is a gift you give yourself. It is not something you wait for from outside. No person or event can give you lasting peace. It comes from within, from learning to rest in your true nature, beneath all worries and fears. Sometimes it helps to imagine your mind as a clear mirror. When a mirror is dirty, it cannot reflect clearly. But when you clean it, everything appears bright and true. Calmness cleans the mirror of the mind. It allows you to see life as it is, without distortion from pain or confusion. This clear seeing is freedom. When you see clearly, you understand that happiness is always possible, even in hard moments. It is not about avoiding pain, but meeting it with courage and peace. As you practice calmness, you may find your heart opening to others. You become more patient, more forgiving. This kindness is a natural result of inner peace. When your mind is calm, your actions spread peace around you. So, in difficult times, remember to come back to your breath, to the stillness inside. Trust that calmness is always there, waiting for you to find it. With patience and kindness, you can live peacefully no matter what storms come your way. This is the true power of the Buddhist path, the power to stay calm and happy in a world that is always changing. It is a path open to all, waiting quietly for each step you take. Listen carefully, for your mind is like the sky. Sometimes it is clear and calm, and sometimes dark clouds cover it. But no matter how dark the clouds are, the sky itself remains untouched, vast, and open. Your mind is like that sky. Your thoughts and feelings are the clouds. They come and go, but the sky beneath stays steady. When trouble comes, your mind fills with many thoughts, worries, fears, anger, or sadness. These thoughts are natural. They arise because of what you experience. But the way you hold on to these thoughts makes all the difference. You see, your happiness depends not on the situation itself, but on how you think about it. In Buddhism, this is called right view, seeing things as they really are, without adding your own pain or fear. When your view is clear and right, your thoughts follow. You don't get caught in stories that make your suffering worse. Imagine, for a moment, that you're carrying a heavy backpack. The backpack is filled with stones, each stone representing a thought. I am unlucky. This will never end. Why me? When you believe these thoughts, the stones grow heavier. You feel tired, heavy, and overwhelmed. Now, what if you open your backpack and take out each stone one by one? You look at them carefully and realize they are not real stones, but just pieces of paper with words on them. You can choose to fold the papers and put them away, or throw them away. This is the power of right thought. You see the difference between the burden you carry and the reality of your situation. Right thought is not about pretending everything is fine. It is about gently changing the story your mind tells you. Instead of saying, "This is the worst thing ever," you say, "This is difficult, but I can learn and grow from it." Instead of "I am helpless," you say, "I would try to find a way, even if it is small." When you practice this, your mind becomes your friend, not your enemy. You train your mind like a gardener tend a garden. You remove the weeds, those harmful, negative thoughts, and nurture the seeds of kindness, patience, and understanding. Remember, your thoughts shape your feelings. If you think you're stuck in darkness forever, you will feel despair. But if you remind yourself that darkness is temporary, like night turning into dawn, your heart will find hope. This is the art of mind over mood. It means you do not let your feelings control you blindly. Instead, you use your awareness and wisdom to guide your feelings toward peace. You might ask, "But Master, what if my feelings are too strong? What if the sadness or anger feels like a storm I cannot calm?" That is a good question. Feelings are like the wind. Sometimes the wind is fierce and wild. We cannot stop it, but we can learn to sit quietly and watch it without getting blown away. When strong feelings arise, do not fight them or push them away. Instead, observe them gently, as if you were watching clouds move across the sky. Notice how they come, how they change, and how they eventually pass. This watching, without judgment, is called mindfulness. It helps you understand your feelings and thoughts deeply. When you see your feelings clearly, they lose their power to disturb you so much. Right thought and mindfulness go hand in hand. One supports the other. Mindfulness shows you what is happening inside, and right thought helps you choose how to respond. You may practice this in small moments. When you feel anger rising, pause and breathe. Ask yourself, what is really happening? What am I thinking? Then gently remind yourself of a wiser view. When sadness comes, acknowledge it. Say, "I see you, sadness. You are here now, but you will not stay forever. Let this kindness toward yourself open space in your heart. Over time, these small moments build a strong habit. Your mind becomes like a calm lake, reflecting life clearly without distortion. Many people think happiness comes from changing the outside world, but true happiness comes from changing your mind, your view, and your thoughts. The Buddha taught that suffering comes from misunderstanding reality. When we see things clearly, suffering becomes less heavy. When we understand the nature of things, our hearts become light. Right view helps us see that life is always changing. Nothing stays the same. This includes our problems, our pain, and even our happiness. When you accept this truth deeply, you stop clinging to things that cause suffering. You learn to flow with life's changes, like a tree bending with the wind instead of breaking. This acceptance does not mean giving up. It means wisdom and courage. Wisdom to see things as they are, and courage to face them without fear. You might wonder, is it really possible to always think right thoughts? To keep the right view all the time? No, it is not easy. The mind is naturally restless. It wanders like a monkey jumping from tree to tree. But the practice is not to force the mind to be perfect, but to gently bring it back whenever it wanders. Every time you notice your mind has strayed in negative or unhelpful thoughts, bring it back to right view with kindness. This patience with yourself is part of the path. It is like training a puppy. You do not punish it harshly. You guide it gently with love and understanding. Remember, this is a journey, not a quick fix. Each day you practice, your mind becomes clearer, your heart softer, and your spirit stronger. When right thought becomes natural, you begin to see your life and the world differently. You see challenges as chances to grow, pain as a teacher, and happiness as a state you create within. This way, even in bad situations, your happiness is not lost. It stays within you like a bright light, ready to shine again. So, my friend, as you walk your path, remember, your mind holds great power. With right view and right thought, you can find peace in any storm. Let your thoughts be like gentle waves, not wild hurricanes. Let your mind be the sky, wide and open, free from the heavy clouds of fear and sorrow. Keep returning to this practice. It is the heart of staying happy in bad situations. And in that steady peace, you will find a joy that does not fade, because it comes from within. Imagine, for a moment, that your mind is like a calm lake. When the wind blows softly, the surface of the lake ripples gently. But when a strong storm comes, waves rise, and the water becomes wild and restless. This is much like our mind when troubles come. Our thoughts and feelings can become stormy, tossing us around without peace. But there's a way to calm that storm. Mindfulness is the gentle art of watching those waves without being swept away by them. It is not about stopping the wind or the rain. It is about learning to be the calm lake underneath, steady and still. When you practice mindfulness, you do not try to push away difficult feelings or ignore them. Instead, you look at them carefully like a curious friend. When sadness, anger, or fear come, the natural habit is to fight them or run away. But this only makes the storm stronger. Mindfulness teaches us to stop for a moment and notice what is really happening inside. What are you feeling right now? What thoughts are running through your mind? In those moments, instead of judging yourself or trying to fix everything immediately, you simply observe. You say to yourself, this is anger, this is sadness, and you watch it as if you were watching clouds moving across the sky. They come and go. They do not last forever. This simple practice changes everything. Because once you're watching your feelings with kindness and calm, you are no longer trapped by them. You become the space where these feelings appear, not the feelings themselves. You create a small distance, a safe place inside your mind. It is like if a storm comes outside your house. You close the windows and sit quietly inside. The storm rages, but you are safe. You know the storm will pass. In the same way, mindfulness lets you sit peacefully inside your mind, no matter how wild the emotions outside feel. You might wonder, how can I practice mindfulness when everything feels so overwhelming? The answer is very simple. Start with small moments. When you feel stress or pain, stop for a breath. Feel the air entering your body and then slowly leaving. Focus only on your breath, just for a few seconds. This small pause gives your mind a chance to calm. It helps you step back from the flood of emotions and thoughts. You become more aware of what is happening inside, without rushing or pushing. You can also bring mindfulness into your everyday activities. When you drink tea, really taste it. When you walk, feel your feet touching the ground. When you listen to someone, give them your full attention without thinking about other things. This is the practice of being fully present, not worrying about the past or the future, but living right here, right now. And when you do this, you find that difficult moments become easier to face. Your mind stops spinning in fear or anger. It becomes calm like the still lake again. Sometimes, painful thoughts or memories come back over and over. Mindfulness teaches you to meet these moments gently. Instead of pushing them away, you welcome them like an old visitor. You listen quietly without letting them control you. This is not easy at first. Our minds are trained to react quickly and strongly. But with practice, you build a new habit, a way of meeting life's storms with calm and kindness. Remember, mindfulness is not about stopping pain. It is about changing your relationship with pain. Instead of pain being a prison, it becomes a visitor who stays only for a while before leaving. You can think of your mind as a garden. If you let weeds grow unchecked, they'll take over. But if you gently pull them out and care for the soil, flowers and peace can grow. Mindfulness is like tending your garden with patience and love. Many people find that mindfulness helps them sleep better, feel less anxious, and even experience more joy in small things. It does not remove problems, but it helps you face them with strength and peace. In Buddhist teachings, mindfulness is part of the path to freedom. The Buddha taught that by seeing clearly what is happening in the mind, we free ourselves from suffering. This freedom is not far away or only for monks. It is available to every one of us, every day. When you practice mindfulness regularly, you begin to notice patterns in your mind. You see what triggers your anger, what causes your sadness. With this understanding, you can choose your response instead of reacting automatically. For example, if someone says something hurtful, your old habit might be to feel upset or angry immediately. But mindfulness gives you a moment, a pause, to choose a different way. You might respond with calm, or simply let the words pass without hurting your peace. This moment of choice is powerful. It grows your inner strength. It makes you less vulnerable to life's difficulties. You learn that no one can take your peace away unless you give it to them. Mindfulness also helps you connect with your true self. Beneath the worries and fears, there's a place of stillness, a deep calm that never leaves. Finding this place changes everything. In this calm place, happiness is not about having what you want or avoiding what you dislike. It is about being at peace with whatever life brings. So, when life feels hard, remember the calm lake inside you. Practice mindfulness by simply watching your thoughts and feelings without judgment. Allow yourself to be present, here and now. With time, this practice will soften your suffering. It will open a new way of living where happiness is not something to chase, but something you discover inside. This is the path the Buddha showed us. Not an easy path, but a path of great wisdom and deep peace. Walk it gently, one mindful step at a time. Imagine sitting quietly, breathing gently, and turning your attention inward. What do you see when you look at yourself in moments of struggle? Do you see someone harsh, angry, or broken? Or do you see a being who, like all of us, is trying their best to carry a heavy burden? In life, pain comes to everyone. No one escapes it. But how we meet that pain makes all the difference. Buddhism teaches us to meet pain not with judgment or anger, but with compassion. Compassion means kindness, not only toward others, but also toward ourselves. This kindness is not something vague or soft. It is a deep, strong power that changes the way we live. When you look at your own suffering with gentle eyes, you stop fighting yourself. You allow space for healing. You open the door to peace. Often, when bad things happen, our mind reacts quickly. We blame ourselves or others. We say, "Why me?" or "This is not fair." These thoughts bring more suffering because they close the heart. They build walls that keep happiness out. Instead, what if you could pause, breathe, and say, "It's okay. I'm here. I feel pain, but I will be kind to myself." This simple act of kindness is the seed of love. From this seed, great strength grows. When you practice loving kindness, you start by wishing well for yourself. It might sound strange at first. We are so used to criticizing ourselves that being kind feels strange or even weak. But it is not. It is the greatest courage. As you become kinder to yourself, your heart naturally opens to others. You begin to understand their pain because you know your own. This understanding is the heart of compassion. It does not judge. It simply sees and feels with warmth. Compassion means seeing beyond the surface. When someone acts badly, it's easy to feel angry. But a compassionate heart asks, what pain lies beneath? What suffering made this person act this way? This question does not excuse bad behavior. It simply reminds us that all beings suffer, just like we do. We are all connected in this shared experience. When you realize this, your anger softens. In the Buddhist teachings, there's a practice called metta, loving kindness meditation. In this practice, you silently repeat kind wishes, first for yourself, then for others. You say quietly, "May I be happy. May I be safe. May I be peaceful." Then you send these same wishes to those close to you, family, friends, neighbors. After that, you extend kindness even to those who have caused you pain or whom you find difficult. This might feel difficult, even impossible at first, but with gentle, patient practice, the heart grows wider. It becomes a refuge, a place where no hatred or fear can stay for long. When you see the world through this compassionate lens, your suffering does not disappear overnight, but changes shape. It becomes easier to carry. The heavy burden feels lighter. You begin to notice moments of joy even in hard times. A smile from a stranger, the warmth of sunlight, the quiet breath that connects you to life. These moments remind you that kindness is always there, waiting. In this way, compassion is not only a gift to others. It is a powerful tool for your own happiness. By opening your heart, you let go of bitterness and pain that trap you in suffering. This does not mean ignoring reality or pretending everything is fine. True compassion sees the truth clearly and responds with wisdom and love. It acts, it helps, and it heals. Sometimes, the hardest person to be kind to is yourself. You might carry years of self-blame or regret. But remember, no one is perfect. Every step you take with kindness is a step toward freedom. When you forgive yourself, you forgive others more easily. This forgiveness does not mean forgetting or accepting harm. It means freeing your heart from chains. In Buddhism, this path of loving kindness leads to a state called Bodhisattva, the awakened heart. It is the heart that wishes to end suffering for all beings, starting with your own. From this awakened heart flows endless patience, gentleness, and joy. It is like the sun breaking through clouds, lighting up even the darkest corners of your life. So, when you face difficulty, try to pause and turn inward. Breathe deeply. Place a hand gently on your heart. Remember to be your own friend. Speak to yourself with warmth. I am here. I care for you. You are not alone. This simple kindness is a balm for the soul. And then, slowly, imagine sending that kindness outward to your family, your friends, your neighbors, even to those who hurt you. Let your heart expand like a blooming flower, touching all with love. This practice is a journey. Some days will be easy, others hard. But with each moment of kindness, you weave a thread of peace into the fabric of your life. Remember, you are not alone on this path. Every being struggles and seeks happiness. When you choose compassion, you join a great community of hearts walking together. And in this shared journey, happiness is not just a dream. It becomes a quiet, steady flame that burns inside, no matter what storms come your way. Acceptance and impermanence, finding freedom in letting go. Sit quietly for a moment. Just breathe. You don't have to force anything. Let your shoulders relax. Let your thoughts settle like leaves falling into still water. Now listen carefully. All things change. Everything. Nothing in this life stays the same. Your body changes. Your children grow. Your home, your work, your memories, all of it moves, flows, and fades like clouds drifting across the sky. This is not something to fear. This is not something to resist. This is simply the truth of life. In Buddhism, we call this impermanence. It means that nothing, not even the pain you feel right now, is permanent. The sadness, the struggle, the worry, they will pass. Just as every night gives way to morning, every difficult moment will eventually soften. But most of our pain does not come from what is happening. It comes from the fight inside us. We want things to stay the same. We want people not to change. We want life to go according to our plan. But life never promised us that. And so we suffer. I once sat beside a man who lost everything he thought he could not live without. He had lost money, friends, his health, even his confidence. He told me, "I feel like a tree after a storm. Everything is broken." I looked at him and smiled gently. I said, "But even broken trees grow again. The roots are still alive." You see, when we accept that life will change, we stop being afraid of it. We stop clinging to what is already gone. We stop fearing what may come tomorrow. Letting go is not giving up. It is not weakness. Letting go is the greatest strength. It is the calm wisdom of knowing that life flows like a river. You cannot hold the water in your hands, but you can learn to swim in it. Sometimes we hold tightly to pain. We think that if we stay angry, it will protect us. We think that if we don't forgive, it will keep us safe. But holding on only tires the heart. Like carrying heavy stones in your pocket, it weighs you down. When we accept things as they are, not as we wish they were, we find peace. We stop arguing with reality. We stop saying, "This should not have happened." Instead, we begin to ask, "What can I learn from this?" There is deep wisdom in surrender. Not the surrender of defeat, but the surrender of trust. Trust that life will bring what it brings. Trust that even in the storm, there is something teaching you, something shaping your soul. The seasons do not fight the wind. The tree does not scream when it loses its leaves. It simply lets go and waits for spring. Some people think happiness comes from having control, but that kind of happiness is fragile. Real peace comes from knowing that you are okay, even when things are not in your hands. So when life changes, and it always does, do not run. Do not cling. Just breathe. Say to yourself, "This too is part of the path." The Buddha taught that when we understand impermanence, we begin to wake up. We stop chasing things that do not last. We start to notice the beauty of now, the sound of rain, the warmth of tea, a quiet moment with someone you love. These things do not last forever, but that is what makes them precious. Think of a candle. Its light is soft, warm, and short-lived. But in that short time, it brings peace to the room. Life is like that, and that is enough. Acceptance is not the same as giving in. It is saying, "I will live fully, even if things are not perfect." It is saying, "I will love, even if it hurts. I will hope, even when I don't know what comes next." I remember a woman who came to me after her husband died. She was quiet, but her eyes carried the weight of grief. She asked me, "How do I move forward without him?" I didn't have answers in words, but I sat with her. I held silence with her. After a while, I said, "Love does not disappear. It changes form. His love is still here, in your strength, in your memories, in your courage to wake up every day." She wept. Then she smiled. That is what acceptance looks like. Not a smile without tears, but a heart that allows both. So I ask you now, in your own life, what are you holding on to? What pain? What regret? What expectation? Can you set it down? You don't have to rush, but even a small breath of release can make space inside you. Space for healing. Space for peace. Space to begin again. Letting go is not something we do once. It is something we practice. Every day, every moment. We notice what we're clinging to, and we gently loosen our grip. Sometimes we must even let go of our idea of happiness itself. Because happiness is not always laughter and joy. Sometimes happiness is quiet. Sometimes it is simply the absence of fear, the ease of a heart that has stopped resisting. You are not here to control life. You are here to live it, not by holding tight, but by letting life flow through you like wine through an open window. And when you live that way, with gentle acceptance, with open hands, with faith in the changing tide, then even in the hardest moments, you will find freedom. Not escape, not distraction, but true freedom, the kind that lives deep in your chest. Quiet, still, unshaken, like the mountain under the sky. So breathe, seek, let the moment be enough. The pain will pass, and so will the fear. In you will remain, still, strong, and free. You ask how to find joy in a world that is always changing, where nothing stays the same and everything seems uncertain. This is a question many have asked throughout time, and it is at the heart of true peace. Joy that depends on things outside, on wealth, on success, on praise, will always be fragile. It is like building a house on shifting sand. When the wind blows or the rain falls, the house shakes and may even fall down. But joy that springs from within, from a quiet place in your heart, is steady. It is a joy not tied to conditions, not dependent on what happens around you. Imagine a lotus flower growing in muddy water. Despite the dirt and murkiness, the lotus blooms beautifully, untouched by the mud. In the same way, we can learn to bloom with happiness, even in the difficult places of our lives. This is the subtle art of contentment, the gentle wisdom of accepting life just as it is. Contentment is often misunderstood. It is not about giving up or settling for less. It is not about ignoring the pain or pretending that everything is perfect. No, contentment is a quiet strength. It is saying to yourself, right now, I am enough. It is the recognition that even if the day is hard, even if things are not perfect, there is still a way to find peace. When you grasp tightly to what you want, you set yourself up for suffering. You suffer because things do not stay the way you wish. But when you loosen your grip and let go of the need for things to be a certain way, your mind becomes free. This does not mean you stop trying or stop caring. It means you stop tying your happiness to results beyond your control. Think about the wind. You cannot hold the wind in your hands. If you try, you only hurt yourself. But you can feel the wind on your face and enjoy its coolness. In the same way, life's joys and sorrows come and go like the wind. When you stop trying to hold them, you can feel them fully and then let them pass. The Buddha taught that desire leads to suffering. When we want things more than what we have, when we crave and cling, we create pain for ourselves. But when we practice contentment, we stop feeding that craving. We stop chasing after what is not here yet or what we do not have. Instead, we turn our attention to what is already present, the breath, the simple moments, the beauty that surrounds us. It may sound simple, but is not always easy. Our minds are trained to want more, to feel restless, and to judge what we have as not enough. This is the habit we need to gently change, moment by moment. With mindfulness, you learn to notice when your mind wanders into desire and dissatisfaction. You learn to bring your focus back to what is true in this moment. Contentment is like a seed. When you plant it, water it with patience and kindness, it grows stronger. It will not bloom overnight, but with time, it blossoms into a calm joy that cannot be shaken by external troubles. One practice to help cultivate this joy is gratitude. When you look at your life and find things to be thankful for, even the smallest ones, your heart opens. Gratitude reminds you that life is already full, even when it feels empty. It is like turning on a light in a dark room. Try to see your life as a whole, not just the difficult parts. The warmth of the sun on your face, the smile of a loved one, the taste of your food. These are all gifts. They are not forever, but while they last, they are precious. Holding these moments gently, without clutching, helps you build a deep well of joy inside. Contentment also means accepting yourself as you are. So often, we are harsh and critical. We focus on our mistakes, our flaws, and what we lack. But the truth is, you are enough right now. You do not need to prove your worth. or earn happiness. It is already within you. This does not mean ignoring your growth or your goals. The path of contentment walks hand in hand with the path of effort. It is about balancing effort and ease, trying your best without being attached to the outcome. You plant a seed, but you do not force it to grow. You give it light, water, and care, then trust the natural process. When life brings hardship, contentment is your shelter. It is not denial, but acceptance. It is looking at the storm and saying, I am safe. I can endure this. This strength does not come from fighting the storm, but from finding peace inside it. You might wonder if this kind of joy is dull or boring. In fact, it is quite the opposite. It is a deep, rich happiness that stays with you even when everything else changes. It is a light that shines quietly but surely in your heart. To live with this joy, you must learn to live simply, not just in your possessions, but in your thoughts and feelings. Let go of unnecessary worries, comparisons, and desires. Return again and again to what matters: kindness, presence, and love. The more you practice contentment, the less you feel trapped by life's ups and downs. You become like a calm lake, reflecting the sky and the trees around it without disturbance. The waves may come, but the lake remains peaceful beneath. This is not a gift that comes from outside. It is already inside you, waiting to be uncovered. Like polishing a stone, each moment of mindfulness, each breath of acceptance, reveals more of your true happiness. Remember, the path to joy is not a race. It is a gentle walk. Be patient with yourself. Be kind to your heart. Each day, you can return to this simple truth. Happiness is not something to find. It is something to remember. Will you carry this joy with you? Bad situations lose their power to control your feelings. You can face life's challenges with a steady heart and a calm mind. This is the true freedom that Buddhism invites us to live. So, in every moment, ask yourself, can I be content right now? Can I rest in this simple joy? If the answer is yes, even for a little while, then you are walking the path of true happiness. Imagine life as a river. Sometimes the water flows smoothly and gently. Other times, it rushes fiercely over rocks and through narrow paths. You cannot control the river, but you can learn how to navigate it. This is the way of spiritual resilience. Resilience means more than just enduring hard times. It means growing stronger because of them. It is like a tree that bends with the wind but does not break. The tree's roots go deep into the earth, giving it strength no matter the storm. You too have roots of wisdom and peace that can hold you steady. When you face difficulties, it is natural to feel pain, sadness, or fear. These feelings are part of being human, but these feelings do not have to define you. You can observe them like clouds passing across the sky. They come and go. They do not change the vastness of the sky itself. In Buddhism, the Buddha teaches us that suffering is part of life. But suffering is not the end. It can be the beginning of awakening. When you meet suffering with an open heart, you begin to understand yourself more deeply. You learn what is real and what is not. Pain can teach you. It can show you where your heart holds on too tightly. It can reveal where your mind clings to things that change and fade away. This awareness is the first step to freedom. True resilience is born from this freedom. When you stop fighting what is happening, when you stop resisting the flow of life, your energy changes. Instead of wasting energy on anger or fear, you use it to be present, to be clear, to be kind. Kindness is a powerful tool in difficult times. When you are kind to yourself, you allow space for healing. When you are kind to others, even those who cause you pain, your heart softens. This does not mean you agree with harm or injustice. It means you do not carry hatred inside you. Hatred is a heavy burden, but kindness is light. One simple practice to build resilience is to breathe deeply and slowly. When troubles arise, bring your attention to your breath. Feel it moving in and out. This anchors you in the present moment. The past cannot hurt you now, and the future is not here yet. Another way is to remind yourself that all things are impermanent. Everything changes. Your pain will change. Your joy will change. Understanding impermanence helps you hold life more lightly. You do not clutch at it like a treasure. Instead, you receive it like a visitor. When you face challenges, remember the river. Sometimes the water is calm. Sometimes it is wild. Your job is not to stop the river, but to learn to flow with it. When you resist, you tire yourself. When you flow, you conserve your strength. Resilience also grows when you connect with others. Sharing your feelings, your struggles, and your hopes creates bonds. You realize you are not alone. Others have walked this path before you. Others walk it with you now. Buddhism teaches the power of Sangha, the community. Being part of a caring group helps your spirit heal. It reminds you that all beings seek happiness and want to avoid suffering. This shared understanding brings comfort. You might wonder, how can I grow stronger when everything feels so heavy? The answer lies in small steps. You do not have to change everything at once. Begin by accepting what you feel without judgment. If sadness is there, say, I see you. If anger arises, say, I know you are here. This simple acceptance is the start of transformation. Imagine planting a seed in the soil. It takes time for it to grow. Some days it seems nothing is happening. But beneath the surface, roots are forming. With patience and care, the seed sprouts and grows into a strong plant. Your spirit is like that seed. Each moment you practice patience and kindness, you water your roots. Over time, you will stand firm, no matter the storm. Sometimes, resilience means letting go. Letting go of expectations, letting go of how you think things should be. This is not easy. The mind likes to hold on tightly. But when you release, you free yourself. The Buddha said, let go of anger. Let go of pride. When you are bound by these, your heart is heavy. When you let go, your heart becomes light, and happiness can return. Remember, happiness is not something outside waiting to be found. It lives inside you. It is like a lamp inside a dark room. When you clean the dust away, the lamp shines clearly. In bad situations, the lamp may flicker, but it never goes out. You are the keeper of that lamp. Through mindfulness, kindness, and acceptance, you protect its light. You may ask, is it possible to be happy when life hurts? The answer is yes. Not because the pain disappears, but because you learn to hold the pain gently without being overwhelmed. The path of spiritual resilience is like walking a mountain trail. Sometimes steep, sometimes smooth, always moving upward. You walk step by step with courage and trust. Trust in your own inner strength. Trust in the wisdom of the Buddha's teachings. Trust that each challenge is an opportunity to grow. In time, you will see that difficulties are not enemies, but teachers. They show you who you truly are beneath the surface, the calm, clear, and loving heart that has always been there. So, when life feels hard, remember the river, the tree, the lamp, and the seed. Hold these images close to your heart. Let them remind you that you are not alone. You are strong, you are wise, and you are on a journey of deep and lasting happiness. Imagine for a moment that you have walked a long path. Along this path, you have faced storms and sunshine, mountains and valleys. You have met joy and sorrow, peace and chaos. Now, as you stand at the edge of this journey, you ask yourself, what is the true meaning of happiness? Where does it come from? And how can it stay with me forever? In the teaching of the Buddha, we learn that happiness is not something outside to chase or hold tightly. It is not in riches, not in praise, not even in health or comfort. True happiness is found inside, in the heart that accepts what is and gently lets go of what cannot be controlled. We live in a world where change is the only constant. People, places, feelings all shift like the wind. When we try to hold on to things as they are, we suffer. But when we learn to flow with life's changes, we find a happiness that does not fade. This happiness is not loud or flashy. It is quiet, steady, like a candle flame that keeps burning even when the wind blows. It is a happiness born from understanding. Many believe that happiness is a reward for having everything they want. But the Buddha showed us a different way. Happiness grows from freedom. Freedom from craving, from fear, from anger, from the endless wishing that things be different. This freedom is like a bird released from a cage. The bird does not worry about the wind or the trees. It simply flies. When you free your mind from attachments, you can fly above life's troubles. You may wonder, how can I reach such freedom? It begins with awareness. To be aware of your own mind is to take the first step toward lasting happiness. When you notice your thoughts and feelings without judgment, you create space between yourself and the storms inside. In that space, there's peace. In that peace, happiness grows naturally. It is not forced or borrowed. It is your own true nature shining through. This is why the Buddha taught mindfulness, not just as a practice, but as a way of life. To be mindful means to be fully present, awake to each moment, without running away or hiding. When you live mindfully, even pain becomes a teacher, and suffering becomes a path to wisdom. The path is not easy, and no one promises it will be free of struggle. But the struggle itself can be a blessing, like the rough wind that strengthens the tree's roots. Hardship can deepen your heart and bring new strength. Remember, you're not alone. Every person on this earth faces difficulties. Yet, those who learn to live with open hearts find a happiness that no one can take away. This happiness is kindness. Kindness to yourself and others. It is a gentle smile in the face of fear. It is forgiveness when anger rises. It is patience when the world seems slow and unfair. When your heart is kind, happiness flows like a river, always moving, always renewing. It is not stuck or frozen. It embraces life in all its beauty and all its pain. Many people search outside themselves for happiness, but the true treasure lies inside, in the quiet courage to accept and the wisdom to let go. Think of a calm lake. When the wind blows, waves rise and fall, but beneath the waves, the water remains still and clear. Your heart can be like that lake, peaceful beneath life's waves. This is the new way to live that the Buddha offers, a way to walk through the world with gentle strength and lasting joy. As you practice this way, you will find your days filled with more light and less fear. You will discover that happiness is not a distant dream, but a present reality, always ready for you to touch. This happiness is your birthright, your true nature, waiting patiently inside. It is like the sun behind the clouds, always shining even when hidden. So, dear friend, I invite you to carry this wisdom forward. Let go of what weighs you down. Embrace the flow of life with a calm and open heart. In this way, you will find happiness that does not fade, a happiness that lives beyond the highs and lows, beyond loss and gain, beyond joy and sorrow. This is the gift of the Dharma, the way of awakening. It is not something you must search for far away. It is already within you, waiting to be remembered. Walk gently, breathe deeply, be present, and happiness will be your faithful companion, no matter what life brings. This is the ending and the beginning, a new way to live, free and joyful, every moment exactly as it is. You have walked far with me. You have listened, you have reflected, and now you arrive here at the stillness beyond all the words. You might be wondering, was it all really so simple? Could something as deep as happiness truly come from just letting go, from breathing, from being present? Yes and no. Yes, because it is that simple. But no, because your mind, trained by years of craving, running, resisting, will resist simplicity. The truth is always near, yet it feels far, because we search with a restless mind. That is why so many walk past the door of peace, never noticing it was open all along. Let me tell you something quietly now. The goal is not to fix the world. The goal is not to fix yourself. The goal is to understand. Understand what? That nothing is missing. That even in the worst pain, you are whole. That even when you are sad, you are allowed to smile. That even when the body becomes weak, your spirit is free to rise. Do not wait for life to be perfect before you begin to live. Do not wait for all problems to go before you. Allow joy to visit your heart. These ideas, when I have more money, when they understand me, when the pain goes away, are endless doors to nowhere. Let this moment be enough. Breathe in. Feel it. This breath is life. It asks for nothing. It carries everything. It is the wind inside your chest that never stops moving, like time, like rivers, like truth. In Buddhism, we say everything changes. And this is not a reason to fear. This is a reason to be free. If you know the good days will pass, you don't cling. If you know the bad days will pass, you don't despair. You simply bow to each season of your life as it comes and as it goes. I ask you to stop fighting the rain. Let it fall. It cleanses. It nourishes. The flower cannot bloom without it. Yes, you will feel lonely sometimes. Yes, the world may seem unfair. And yes, people may forget to love you. But you must not forget to love yourself. Self-love is not pride. It is the root of peace. When you stop hurting yourself with judgment and regret, you become the person others feel safe with. You become a light, not by trying to shine, but by removing the clouds. If you carry pain from the past, let me tell you something gently. It happened. Yes, it hurt. Yes, it shaped you, but it does not have to define you. The past is like a shadow. It follows, but it cannot lead. You must walk forward now, and you do not walk alone. In this moment, thousands are listening just like you. Across oceans, across cities, across quiet homes. All feeling pain, all feeling hope, all breathing, all wondering if there is more to life. There is. There is love in simplicity. There is peace in silence. There is truth in now. Let go of what you think your life should look like. That idea has been built by voices that do not understand your soul. Trust what life has given you. It may not be perfect, but it is yours, and within it lies your path to awakening. Some of you may still be afraid of death, of growing old, of becoming forgotten. I understand, but look closer. Death is not the end. It is the rhythm of nature. When you understand impermanence, you do not fear losing. You appreciate more deeply what is here. Happiness in this way is not about more. It is about less. Less noise, less fear, less control. What remains is something real, something still, something that cannot be taken. That something is you. Not the roles you play, not the mask you wear, but the silent witness behind it all. The awareness watching your joy and sorrow without clinging to either. That is your true self, and it is already free. If you have followed all the parts of this journey, then know this. You have taken a great step, not because you reached a destination, but because you turned inward. That turning is the beginning of all wisdom. You may still face problems after this video ends. Life will still have loss, illness, and disappointment. But you will meet them differently now. You will pause. You will breathe. You will remember. And in that remembering, you will choose peace. Even if no one around you understands this path, you can still walk it. The Buddha walked it alone, and then he shared it, just like I'm sharing it now. Just like you will share it with your children, with your friends, even with strangers who see your calmness and wonder where it comes from. Let them wonder. Let them ask. And when they do, tell them gently, I stopped running. I started seeing. That is enough. Before we close, I want to give you something. A final gift. Not words, not ideas, but a space. A space inside your heart that you can return to any time. Close your eyes, just for a moment. Breathe slowly. Feel your chest rise and fall. No need to fix anything. No need to become anything. Just be here. This is home. This is you. This is freedom. Now, open your eyes again. Not to the world you knew, but to the world as it is. Imperfect, beautiful, alive. You are ready. Dear viewer, thank you for being here. Thank you for taking this journey. If this message touched something deep inside you, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to this channel, Wisdom Woven. It helps us keep this space alive, and your support means everything. There's so many people watching these videos, but only 0.2% are subscribing. If you feel peace from what you've heard today, don't keep it to yourself. Subscribe, comment, Namo Buddha below, and share this with someone who needs it. Your voice matters, your presence matters, and your journey continues.